This week's Aqua Tip is using a noodle. Now, what we're going to be doing is sitting on the noodle like a swing. So I'm just going to pop it underneath my buttocks like so. And it's a movement pattern that I sometimes use with dumbbells. And the thing is that when I've got the noodle, I can hold onto the end of the noodle and I can create some turbulence with this in a way I can't normally do it with a dumbbell, and I quite like this. So I'm basically doing a cross-country ski, but on the side. And what I end up doing with my legs is straight leg kick, holding the end of the noodle, I'm rotating over the hip. Now, this is a very strong oblique workout. I'm going to tell you that now, and you'll feel it there. The key thing here is that you've got to sit on the noodle whilst you're doing it, and that sort of limits, like, it actually puts more stress is not the good word, more emphasis on the muscles that need to activate. So a straight leg cross-country ski, but you're on your side, you're taking your arms across your body, and you're kicking your legs across. Now, I am trying to keep my bottom leg straight. It's not easy. This knee wants to bend. So I've got to really focus on flexing the foot. Now, let me give this a really good crack. All right. I'll tell you what the challenge is with wearing a wetsuit. It makes you really slippery on things like noodles. I need skin-to-skin contact for this one, which most of your clients will be doing, right? Now, this move can travel. So if you like, you could get people moving down the pool, then you could get them doing an up and down kick, and then come back the other way, because you're really pulling over the hip to get the oblique workout, and you can see that I'm slowly traveling down the pool. So I think with this one, it's a really important exercise to give people space to travel sideways. They're not going to travel far, but they need to be able to move. Otherwise, they're going to be struggling to stay on the spot. This has got my heart rate up. It's a strong upper body workout. Yes, you will need to grip the noodle pretty firmly, and just be aware of that. So if you've got clients that are sort of struggling with their fingers, then to do this exercise, you can release your grip, but it doesn't give you the same sort of pull. Not really. So hands, well, something to consider for this exercise. But it's not a bad one to do for a short period of time. And then what you could do is give the fingers a bit of a break by doing something where they don't need to hang on to the noodle, and then they swap over and they go back the other way. So that's an option too. But try to get the head to rotate and really pull back with the arm, and then repeat on the other side. Interesting, I found that one side was a little harder to do than the other side. Anyway, a little bit different, use of the noodle in the swing position underneath your buttocks. I hope you give this exercise a go, and that is this week's Aqua Tip. I'm going to have to tell you that when you demonstrate this, you're going to have to get down and dirty, and that means you can't demonstrate this on a chair. There's no way you can use a frame. You've got to get down to pool deck. And I tell you, it's worth it. Sometimes just getting down, getting into the exercise, showing them what it looks like straight off will save you so much explanation that you have to do when they're like, okay, what exactly are you doing? And they're looking at you sideways. So this is how I demonstrate it. On the pool, I get down the pool deck and I'll say, position the noodle underneath your buttocks like a swing. And what I want you to do, and what you'll do is you'll get down on the pool deck, you're going to be doing this open leg scissor action, and you just have it underneath your thighs at this point. Then you use the noodle and you hold on to the ends, and then you demonstrate the arm action, which is going to go the opposite way to where that front top leg is going. Because you're going to be limited with how much you can move this bottom leg because you're on pool deck. So the cue exactly is Position the noodle underneath your buttocks like a swing. Hold the ends of the noodle. What you're going to do now is you're going to do like a cross-country sideline ski leg action, and then holding onto the noodle, you're going to swing the noodle over your leg. And what you're going to do is try to rotate your torso with your head. You're going to feel a really good workout all the way down the side of your body. That's the whole cue. So let me break it down in parts. The first thing is to get them into the right position. Buttock under the noodles, hands on the end of the noodle. You'll need to demonstrate this in standing. Then hit the deck and show them what they're doing with their legs first. So they're going to be doing this action. Shortly afterwards, explain what they're doing with their hands. And when you're demonstrating this, it's the arm and just the top leg that's moving. They understand that the bottom leg is also moving because they're adding the arms to it. And then you talk about the rotation and to let them know what the purpose of the exercise is with what they're activating through the obliques to the side of their body. And of course, you might have them all doing it in the same direction because they may also travel slightly down the pool. But they won't go very far if they keep their legs long. So additional cues that you might like to add is keep your legs as stiff and as straight as possible. So you're just working from the hip joint. And notice that as I'm communicating hip joint, I'm also pointing to that area on my body. All of these little things can make a big difference with how you communicate an exercise in the class. This is a really good oblique exercise. I have done something similar, but with the noodle behind the back, but it wasn't as effective for the obliques as what it is when you're sitting on the noodle. Anyway, a little bit, not too hard to demonstrate, but you do need to get down pool deck. Don't try and show it up here. It doesn't communicate the message well, and also it looks like you can't be bothered. Did I say that? It does. It's sort of like goes, and this is what we're doing. So unless there's a physical limitation, my friends, get down on the pool deck. Hopefully you've got some sort of mat that's going to be a bit more comfortable to demonstrate on. I always am very mindful of what I'm wearing when I have to teach these sorts of exercises in the class, so it's not pristine white, and that's why I don't want to get down on the ground. And you know, I think it's a really good abdominal exercise. Hope you try it. And that is this week's Aqua Tip.